Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 7 here on New Frontier with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, it is April 1st. It is 6:30 in the morning. Oh, I forgot to put the time back. I had cranked it down because I was shopping this morning, as you can see, and I didn't want to eat up a bunch of our day doing that. Our money is at 100,000 or just over 100,000, and we started the day at just over 400,000. That's up a bit from where we were last together, but that's because I did a little extra logging in March because we couldn't do the grass work. So I was shopping and I bought pretty much the equipment I said I was going to. There's the tractor that we had looked at. Like I said, it's like 20 years old. There's the plow that we had taken a look at, and also the larger rock picker, the seeders. Now this is really the only change, is I bought a roller. I upgraded. They had a kind of a new line of European type equipment in there. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but it wasn't that much more, and it was a little bit more, well, about twice the size of what we were looking at. So I decided to make that upgrade because we had a little more money. There is the sprayer, and that's for our second application of fertilizer. And there's the front mower. And that's what we're down here to grab. We are going to take that right away because we want to get the grass cut, not only where we are going to be making our fields, but also out back where the feedlot is going to be, and get that baled up and turned to silage bales. That is what we're going to start on here right away this morning. And I'm going to get hooked up here on this. I will leave you there. I'll drive to the farm, and that'll give me an opportunity to get the time cranked back up. Oh, that's right. It doesn't automatically lift anymore. And yeah, I'll show you what I spent the rest of the money on. I will catch up with you back at the farm. See you in just a minute. Well, we're back here at our farm, and I have the time cranked back up to 3 where it should be. And you can see I have put our workshop / storage building in, and I recolored the red to a cream color. I kind of felt like that red clashed with that kind of bright green. Now I did need to take a few trees out here, and I took all the trees out in our feedlot area, all of that I could, and then I still had time left on the harvester, so I brought it down here and took the trees out I thought I needed here. Still had a tiny little bit of time left, so I took a few trees out along the edge there that we're facing. So I did return the tree harvester with exactly 4 hours on it, so we had it for 4 months. But if we come here and take a look, it's a pretty nice building. I'm pretty happy with it. Now, I've not done any testing, but I'm going to assume by these hash marks in here that this whole area over here is going to be workshop, which, yeah, is not as convenient because we are going to use it for equipment storage, so there'll be always equipment sitting in there likely, which means it'll come up in the repair menu, but yeah, it is what it is. But like I said, I haven't tested it. I may be totally wrong. It might be just this area here. That would be a little handier, I will admit. But I do like it. I do like the fact that they put this OSB around the bottom. Plywood would have been better, but I mean, if I were building a shop like in my garage in town, then when I had OSB in the garage rather than drywall, just so I could put screws in there and hang stuff. Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Like I said, plywood would be better than OSB, but OSB is better than tin. So yeah, I like it. Now let's grab this door here. No sense leaving it open so critters can get in. So between this building and our old shed here, we should be able to get all our essential equipment under cover anyways. Like, I'm not too worried about our trailers. They can just sit outside. Yeah, so let's get on with the mowing here. Now, I don't plan on showing all of the mowing. Didn't take out quite enough trees. There's a couple laying over that I just chopped down and chucked over there to deal with later. They were in the road for putting the building in. Anyways, let's get this thing fired up. Ahead a little bit. Now I did one round off camera, and that was simply because I wanted to do the map edge with the map on and take as much grass as I could. So I just did that off camera and I just carried on around. We'll do the next rounding cab. I was going to say go in this direction. We could probably do it in cab, but we'll give ourselves a little more room to maneuver by doing one more loop here at least. So there were a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about while we're doing this mowing, and like I said, I'm not planning on showing all of this mowing. Just wanted to show off the new mowing setup, and then the rest, the baling, oops, sorry about that, the windrowing, I'll do all of that off camera and I'll bring you back in, because what I want to show is the creation of our fields, you know, getting them prepped and seeded and that. So that's going to take a fair bit of time, but I want to be able to show pieces of all of that. So don't want to take it all up with mowing. Anyways, there is a little more money I want to spend this month, and that is on a bulk filling station. I talked to the workshop, or to the shop I should say, and they do offer that as a service. We just need to put in the fill station and then they'll provide the bulk materials. So it'll save us a little money and save us having to drive to the store and deal with big bags and that sort of thing. But I haven't decided where to put it. And part of the conundrum there is the other thing we need to buy, but we don't need that immediately, but we do need it by fall, is a silo that we can store our crop in. So I haven't decided. I tried a few ideas out when I was putting the shop in, and didn't really care for any of them. But after I did that, after I was off the map, I thought of another idea. So I might give that a try and see how that works. And kind of when I know where the silo is going to go, then I'll know the spots I have available to put that fill station in, because we need a flat area for that. Now, I didn't buy everything we needed. Like, we don't have a lime spreader, so I'm just going to lease that because we don't need to use it that often. We'll lime the fields in it'd be 3 harvests or something before we need to lime them again. So I thought we'd just lease that, and that's something we can buy for ourselves later on. Oh shoot, you know what, going in cap. I get talking and I forget about those trees, because for myself, when I'm playing personally, I just don't worry about it. The other thing I wanted to mention is I had talked when I did my update about removing all the placeables down at the sawmill and then buying that property and putting it back in. And you know what? I'm not going to do that. I have this set up as a multiplayer, but there's no advantage to doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to amalgamate it into a single player game, and that'll give me ownership of everything down there without having to remove it all. I'll just have to take some money out, because there's obviously county money, but I'll take that out, and then we'll have access to all that land. Now it'll show up as if we own it, but we won't be able to do anything with it until we deduct the value of that land from our bank account as if we bought it. So I won't be able to put, boy, that is dark, isn't it, with those tinted windows? I won't be able to put any placeables or anything on there that I want to use until I've actually so-called purchased it. But that's just a quick and easy way, because with power tools, I don't really need to have separate accounts. Now, I am planning on doing other things with the county property and expanding that, but again, I can just put money in, do what I need to do, and then just make sure it's back to where we started. So that's what I'm going to do. I haven't done it yet, but I am going to do that. So I think I will leave you there. I just wanted to show some of the mowing with our new mowing setup. But I am going to windrow this and get it baled. And I'll likely do the piece out back as well while I'm at it. It'll be fairly late in the day, or might be even first thing tomorrow morning. And we'll get creating the fields. But I'll get this baled up and the bales moved. Now there's something I forgot. I don't have any way of picking these bales up. Okay. Well, might have to lease something. It's what, 50 grand I think for the round bale, this auto stacking trailer. Yeah, well, I'll have to think on that. Either we'll lease it or we'll buy it. I'm not sure. I'd like to buy it because it's something we'll use all the time, but I'm kind of low on the funds. Although I guess we just need the buy station, and it's, I think, only 10,000. The silo's 80,000, but we've got all summer of wood production to sell. So, anyways, problem for another day. I'll have that all sorted by the time I see you next time. So I'm going to do that, and I will see you when we're ready to actually make some fields here for the first time on New Frontier. So we'll see you in a little while. Welcome back to the farm, everyone. It is 2 o'clock the same day, and I have finished harvesting the grass in this area. And we got 54 bales, and the majority of them are stacked right here. Yes, on our neighbor's property. Now, I don't know who owns this, but I'm just going with the old adage, it's better to ask forgiveness rather than permission. But these bales are not going to sit here very long anyway. As it turned out, last month was the best month for selling silage. We are currently only $1 off that price. So it was for that reason that I decided to buy the auto stacking trailer to pick the bales up with. That is why our money is down at 51,000, but I think we'll be able to replace it in a fairly short order. Now, let's turn on flight mode and let's take a bird's eye view of the situation, because I've changed my mind a little bit. When you look at this, if I were to take a third of this and turn it into sorghum field, it really wouldn't be a very big field. Now, it would certainly be enough, I'm sure, to look after a few chickens, but we're going to have a pretty heavy investment to get this sorghum in, not only in the equipment we've already bought, but we need to add a silo, and we are likely going to need to lease a harvester. And I thought, you know what, maybe we should make that a little bit more worthwhile by turning this all into sorghum. And part of what factored into that decision was how much area I was able to mow here. As you can see, we've got a nice large grass area that we've got mowed. I'm going to estimate about twice the size. And originally I was thinking, well, I'll just turn this into a grass field in the, while we're waiting for our cow pens to go in. But for that reason, I've kind of changed my mind, because the cow pens are a little quirky right now, and I don't want to jeopardize anything we might do in the future by having this be a proper field. So I think we'll just leave it as it is for now and just continue to harvest it in its native state. And what we're going to do for logging next winter, let me get down here to our property line, which is right there. We are going to log off this area here and then work our way to the road, because we're going to gain a lot of usable land for less effort than it would be to log down here where I was originally thinking, and expanding this area. You can see how much denser the trees are. I mean, we'd make a lot more money, but it's a lot more effort for less land or territory. So for that reason, I don't need to be nearly as conservative as what I was originally planning to do in this area, so that we could log easily. because I don't think we'll be logging down here, and if we are, it'll be long after the crop is gone, so we won't need to worry about it. So let's get our field created. For some reason I put the weight on the floor. Don't know why I did that, but that's an easy fix. Now the only place where I am going to be conservative is here. Zoom in a little bit more. Is along this edge. Now it's one thing to be aggressive on this border when you're mowing grass, because you can easily hook it onto your property with your windrower. But if you go over your property line when you're plowing and planting, I know from experience you ain't going to be able to harvest it. So let's turn allow create fields on, and I think I'm happy with that. Oh, let's check. Yeah, we could back up a little bit more now. Yeah, I think that will do. Let's lower it down and head on down the field. Now I normally do this off camera, as you well know, but I'm willing to risk it this time because this is not going to be the final form of this field for sure, and I don't need to be too fussy about it. We just need to get it in. So we can go right down here fairly close to the edge of the trees with no issue now, because I don't think we'll be logging. Certainly not from this direction. If we will be logging, we'll be coming from the bush in front of us. Because we could, you know, if we did a pile of logging, we could log right across the road and then take out these trees in front of us and then come along and take these ones out that we're running beside. But like I said, it won't be much time that the crop is in the field that we'd be wanting to log anyway, so it'll be empty. So nothing we need to worry about. So we will make a nice big sorghum pit, or as big as we can anyway. Now, let's see, how close do we want to get to the road here? Let's see, something like that should do. Gives me a little bit of a buffer area in case I'm not paying attention when I come tearing down the road, that I don't go rolling into our crop. Now here we do need to leave a little bit more room. That should be good there. The reason being is this is where I get the water from for the animals, and so I need to leave enough room to get the Massey back in here and back into that pond and filled. And what I'll do before I finalize everything is I'll bring the Massey down with the trailer and make sure there's enough room that we can easily get in there. But it doesn't take much because that little Massey's got a pretty tight turning radius, and I've decided to keep it around for a while. We wouldn't get much if we sold it, and it will be handy for looking after the animals. Now, one other thing that has changed is we are no longer on a multiplayer map. I did merge the two accounts, and I took the money back down, basically subtracted all the money the county had. But before I did that, I looked to see what our borrowing limit was, and it was $750. So we'll just honor that limit until we buy some more land, which would likely increase it naturally, and then we'll just go with whatever it is. But I'm really not planning on borrowing a bunch of money anyways. We're still at the $200,000 mark that we borrowed to do our initial expansion here on the farm. Really don't have any plans in the foreseeable future to to borrow anymore. So we're going to go with that cycle of log through the winter, gather up funds, and then expand in the spring. And hopefully we won't need to borrow a bunch of money if all goes well. I mean, I guess an exception to that might be if we wanted to borrow some to get the harvester, the tree harvester, and own it for ourselves. I'm not saying we will never do it, but I really don't have any plans right now to do it. Oh, and I left the door open on that shed because that was to remind me that I did a little test, and yeah, it is pretty much that entire hash mark area is the repair trigger, so it's got a huge repair trigger on it. It is what it is. Still happy with the shed. So I don't want to show too much of this because I do want to get some more operations in. And what we'll do next is likely rock picking. Oh, we can't forget about liming either. We need to lime. When should we do that? Before or after? I guess maybe we'll rock pick. Oh, didn't quite make it around that darn tree. We'll rock pick, lime, and we'll seed. Now, I suppose theoretically we could throw a layer of fertilizer down before then. You know what? I think I'll stick with my original plan, and I'll do one layer of fertilizer with the seeding. Then once we roll it, I think we should be able to fertilize it again, and that'll be the spraying application. Now, I don't think we'll get through all those this episode. I think we'll have to break that up into 2 episodes. Unless I just show a tiny bit of each, but I want to show a reasonable amount of each process. Now the rocks, when we pick them suckers up, we're just going to have to store them someplace, because one of the productions I want to put in is a lime production, but I don't want to do that until we buy the land down by the sawmill, so that's going to be a little ways away. So we'll just store the rocks up in the meantime. This tractor's having no issue pulling this plow whatsoever, even though it's slightly off the required horsepower. It's handling it just fine. Kind of an odd shaped field. I don't know if you guys can make that out in the mini map. Actually, what we'll do here, because I think there's about where I'll leave you, but we'll open up the big map so we can have a good look at it. Yeah, it is kind of an odd shaped thing, all right, but that's just fine. And you can see we've got, we're probably more conservative than we really needed to be here. We could probably take a little bit more out of that, but like I said, better safe than sorry. We definitely won't have any issue there. But with that, I think I will leave you there. I will get the rest of this field plowed out. What time is it? 2:30? Well, and we should have fairly long days. We can probably get the rock picking done yet today too, so I will see you when it's time to put our rock picker to work. So we'll see in a little bit. Well, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Our field is now plowed out. I have returned to the farm with a leased lime spreader, and I put in the bulk buying station. The farm shop was very helpful. They came in and popped that in right away so we could use it. So I decided we throw lime down here first, and that way the stone picker can actually kind of work that lime in a little bit rather than having our seeder do it. So let's get some lime in here. So we're down to $47,000 now after putting in the buy station and leasing the lime spreader. Now every once in a while I have to do that. For whatever reason, when I pull up the trigger, sometimes fueling vehicles the same. I got to jump out of the vehicle and back in if it doesn't come up. And we're going to fill this up because I am pretty sure we will use it all. So that cost us $3,000. Now that buy station is a little bit cheaper because we are buying in bulk. Now I don't know if we have other options right now, but they had same thing in FS22, and I liked it because it wasn't the cheapest option. If you went to the store, you could buy some pallets or big bags cheaper, but it was cheaper. I always thought that if you're buying in bulk, it should be a little more cost effective. I'm curious. Oh, look at that. It does recognize it as a field. Sweet. All right, well, we'll use that. I really like that for fertilizing or lime spreading, because it's very efficient. You don't end up with any overlap. Well, same thing for turning implements on. Every once in a while, I gotta jump out for some reason. And FS22 had the same thing, but it was only seemed to be refueling certain vehicles. Wouldn't refuel unless I jumped out and back in. But in 25, sometimes refueling, sometimes fill triggers, and sometimes turning implements on. So if anybody has any idea what might be going on there, you can leave it in the comments, because it's kind of an odd one. Oops. I think I'll leave you in for this whole job. Shouldn't take very long. Now we'll probably get the rock picking done today, but that'll probably be the end of it. I did do the little test with the Massey that I said I was going to do. In fact, you can see it sitting there, and it has plenty of room to get in and get at the water, so that's good. It looks like this tractor is actually going to turn out to be a pretty good investment, because I'm not sure that other 155 horse one would have been able to handle this larger spreader. Although, where did I think it was on DJ Goham's Farm Sim News that the international version of that mod is coming. It's on its way. So don't be surprised if you see that on the farm at some point at 1455. It was one of my favorite tractors in FS22. And it wasn't green. Actually, you know what? We can do this in cab if we've got steering assist, and then I don't have to fight with those darn trees. Except Oh, geez, I missed a little spot there for some reason. Need to be out of cab so I can see where to shut it off easily. Now I just leased this rather than buying it just because we're not going to use it very much. I mean, eventually we'll buy one of our own. Sorry about that. There is one wee problem with this mod, and that is it locks the view. So it's like I couldn't swing away from the trees. And again, to fix it, jump out and back in. It's the only mod though that our track drive had that, but it does seem to be a wee bit of an issue with it. So I couldn't swing away from those trees. My view was locked. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, can't change it for some reason. Yeah, it's just honking through that line. Let's do this. Fields are rough. I tell you, when you've plowed them. Oops. Oh yeah, I can't change. Oh. There we go. Oh. Bugs, bugs, bugs. Now what I wanted to do, actually this is the short side here. There we go. We are going to need a little bit of lime. Well, it comes out of there pretty darn fast. Actually, what I should do just get to the end of the row here. It seems to be when you change from inside to outside. Okay. What I'm thinking of doing here is fold this up. We'll go buy some more lime now, because like I said, it's pretty hard to stop it. It comes out of there pretty darn fast. And I don't want to have a whole trailer load of extra lime. Oh, this is getting old. There, that should be good, I would think. Yeah, let's catch this little piece we missed here, shall we? There. Oh, shoot. I forgot I had the time down at 0.5 while I was messing around with landscaping and putting that buy station in. And I see I forgot to change it. So what I'll do when we're done here is I'll put it up to 10 times for a little bit. Make up for it. I'll take it. I'll run it up to about 4:15 or something like that. Actually, we're going to have about 35% though of a wagon load left. Shouldn't have given it that last squirt. Oh well. We'll find some place to store it. It won't go to waste. It's not our last field we're going to be making on here. All right. I'll get this unloaded and I'll get this returned and I'll bring back our rock picker and we'll do some rock picking. So I shall see you in a minute. Well, we're back here on the farm with our rock picker. I have returned the lime spreader and you can see I have steering assist set up again. Although this time I put it on 3 headlands just to give us a little bit more room to maneuver down here on the end because our field is so close to the trees. Now, speaking of time, I did look and see how much recording we had done, and we don't have a whole lot of time left, so I won't be able to record all of this rock picking, and this will be the last operation that will show on the field this episode. So we'll start next episode with the seeding. But as soon as we're done the recording portion of this job, I think I'll move to getting the grass baled out back so that we can get those bales fermenting as soon as possible. The longer we wait, probably the lower the silage price will go. So better for us to get it sooner rather than later. I can finish this job up either in the dark with steering assist to be pretty easy, or I could do it in the morning before I bring you guys in to seed the field. One of the two. But either way, before we seed this field, I will likely have those bales made and gathered up. Now we gotta kind of weave our way through the trees here a little bit. Now, once we have all the stones gathered off the field, I think I'm going to take them down by the sawmill and deposit them someplace down there in a pile, because eventually I'd like to put a lime crusher down in that area. But of course we'll have to wait until we pay for the land, so to speak. But I've got our trailer staged up there, as you can see, because I suspect we'll have more than one load of rocks off this field. We're at what? Well, just under 10% for just the first headland. Now, interestingly, I remembered that in FS22 I had a vehicle that did the same thing with the camera that this one is doing. For the life of me, I can't remember what map or what vehicle, I just remember it happening. But basically, it's whenever you change camera from like interior view or like cab view to exterior view, as soon as you go to the new view, it's going to lock your camera. You can't move it. And it doesn't matter which way you go, in to out or out to in, it is going to lock you. And you know, it just came to me that, you know, that I remember I had another vehicle that did that. So it's not the first time I've had it. And like I said, I just can't remember what that other vehicle was. And I don't know if it was a tractor or a truck. Probably a tractor, because I use them more than anything else. But it rang a bell. I don't think I ever found a solution for it. Just have to live with it. But you see, I can move it now because I've just stayed in the external view. Now, if I go in cab, now I can't change it. It's locked. Interesting. It's not a huge deal, but it can be a little annoying. Like coming up to this corner here, for example. Although you can exit out. Oh, that isn't what I meant to do. I meant to change the view. I was going to say you can change the view, but it's still locked. Now, is it locked now? See, and now if I jump out, change the view, jump in, and now I can change it. I go inside, can't change it. I go back outside, can't change it. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. I have come across it before, like I said, I just can't remember exactly where. But if you're aware of it, like for recording, I can usually work around it. But this is other than that, it's a pretty nice mod, actually. The windows, whoops, better get my line set here. Both doors open, the window opens in the back, the bonnet opens. Got a lot of neat features like that. And I wonder if it's anything to do with that, with all the different controls that you've got to manipulate those things. Anyway, it's what it is. We've invested the money. We're committed now for a little while. Well, you know what? We might. This is what, the third headland we're working on. We're at 17%. That might be close. I still think we'll need to empty. Now I got thinking on the way back from the store, I really probably could have leased the stone picker as well. It's going to be a while before we need it again, just like the line spreader. Just when I seen that 400,000, I, thought I had lots of money to spend. I suppose we could use it and sell it, but hey, it's paid for. We'll just hang on to it. And it's not like we won't be using it again. And eventually, hopefully we'll be using it a lot, because we'll have a lot of fields to deal with. I'd give you a different view, but I can't. Well, I guess I can jump out. Then I'd be okay. There we go. No, I think we have one more headland up here, don't we? I'll come back and clean that little bit up. I just didn't want to bother with that short little line. There I am with my branded appropriately hoodie on. Now, I haven't been putting things at, I haven't been observing the angles, as let's say the 90-degree angles. I've just been putting things in where I think they should go, irregardless of whether they line up or line up with other buildings, just kind of like what feels right. And I'm going to continue to do that. It's kind of intentional, because I want to have our farmyard, especially this piece on the hill, feel like it's more incorporated within the trees. Like I don't want to take out, I want to take out as few trees as possible and blend our infrastructure within the trees. I mean, it's certainly not possible with cow pens and that, but with our machinery buildings and that, that's what I'm trying to do. But even our cow pen is not running either like true north, south, or east, west. It's off at a tangent. And that's the same, that's why our lines here are going across the field at what seemingly a strange angle. They're running true north and south, but our field isn't running true east and west. Oh, we don't need to. We can grab any old line that suits us, actually. Like those, our sheds, our two sheds, I think they're at different angles. They're close, I think, potentially, but they are. I didn't, if they are at the same, that's accidental, because I placed it in the kind of grove of trees where it felt or looked what I thought was the best. That's kind of unusual for me, because I usually like to have everything lined up and all symmetrical, but I'm not doing that on here. That's kind of why I missed that clump of trees down in the, out back there, because I just ran a line parallel to the back fence of our cow pen. Kind of forgot that that wasn't true east-west. So I missed that little grove of trees because I was running at a different angle. Alright guys, well I think I'll leave you there. You know what? I have to amend my earlier comment. I think we will get everything in one load because we're getting close to half done and we're only 30% full. So I might not need my trailer, but I know well and truly we are out of time. So I will leave you there and I will bring you back in tomorrow in game and we'll get this field seeded and rolled and fertilized. And I will, in the meantime, get some work done off camera. So, if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode, here on New Frontier, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.